Okay, so hey guys and welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Magnesi versus Gimenez fight. If you are new around here then you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So going into this fight, Magnesi is 21-1 with 13 KOs and Gimenez is 17-0 with 3 KOs. This fight is for the vacant WBC Silver Super Featherweight title. Magnese's last fight was a loss via split decision versus Kakase, and Gimenez's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Gimenez. This is in Magnese's home country of Italy. Magnesi is the former IBO World Super Featherweight title champion, and overall, I mean, he's coming off that first loss, and so he's going to have a point to prove against Gimenez, who may be seen as a bit of a lesser known opponent and maybe an easier opponent than for Magnesi, but you don't got to overlook Gimenez. I do really like him as a fighter, and let's speak about the two fighters. So Magnesi is an attacking fighter who likes to come inside, is a fast starter, has good head movement when he uses it. He's a pressure fighter, he's open to a war, he controls the centre, he tests opponents' conditioning, he's tough, looks for the big punches, he's fast, and he is a close range fighter. I've kind of said that already, but overall he's a good fighter. Against Kakase, the way he kind of lost that fight was just because he was getting picked with the range, because he is that smaller fighter and he is going to struggle with that. And when he does come in, like I said, he likes to be on the inside, but he can't always be on the inside, and so when he is trying to come in to get to the inside, he does get caught often. And obviously, like I said, he has a good head movement when he uses it, but he sometimes only uses it at the start because he doesn't have good enough conditioning to use that. Maybe by the end he's struggling a bit more with that and not using it as much, but at the start he is good when he is using it. But the pressure and the controlling of the centre and the attacking that he does is very impressive. The way that he was making Kakase just kind of forced to be on the outside is something very interesting, and that does test opponents' conditioning because he's always coming forward. He throws with high amounts of volume, and he will of course look for the big punches. I wouldn't say he's overly powerful, but he does look for these big punches, and I suppose if somebody is caught maybe lacking that, then they can get caught with a big punch and it probably would knock him down. But I wouldn't say it's the most overly powerful punches, but he is fast, especially at the start. Like I said, that fast start is something that's Gimenez is definitely going to have to watch out for. The kind of more negatives, like I said, he's a smaller fighter. He's definitely open to the uppercuts versus Kakase. He was getting uppercut a lot, and maybe that's because the guard is maybe focused more on the wider punches and not kind of a narrow guard and not trying to stop the narrow punches. But Kakase was having a lot of success with that, and so Gimenez will probably have to look for that. Like I said, he gets caught coming in. He walks onto shots, similar kind of thing. He can drop the guard when he's tired, and there was times versus Kakase when in the later rounds when he was just taking a lot of punishment, and I mean he was inviting him forwards and constantly wanting to maybe take that punishment and give some back, but he was taking a lot of unnecessary punishment. Maybe come the end of the fight there was more than it probably necessarily should be. But overall, a good fighter, an experienced fighter, more experienced than Gimenez, and that's probably something that he's going to have to use to his advantage. Gimenez though is a fast, well-conditioned fighter who likes to outwork opponents. He's hard to pin down. He's a nimble fighter. He has a good jab. He's light on his feet. He circles around the outside of the ring. He has a long reach. He has a high work rate, like I said. He turns up the tempo when he wants. He pushes you around the ring with a jab. He uses the straight shots well. He's accurate, and he finds space. Overall, I would say that it kind of contrasts to what Gimenez might be wanting to do. Magnesi, because Gimenez, like I said, he's going to go around the outside of the ring and not mind doing that, and he's very fast on the outside of the ring, and he does have good movement, and that's something which Magnesi might not like. And like I said, he's hard to pin down, which is also something which I don't think Magnesi would like, because obviously if he's going to be attacking all the time, if Gimenez can just maybe pop a couple jabs or a couple straight lefts or just move him around, then as well as himself moving around, then it would be very interesting to see how Magnesi would deal with that, because like I said, he will push you around the ring with the jab. He's not very powerful, and the punches he throws aren't very powerful, less powerful than what Magnese's punches are. But just because they're not powerful doesn't mean they're not there, and he will push you around the ring with a jab just because it's always flicking out in front of him. It's always there. The straight shots he uses very well. He likes to use his reach well, which is something which Magnesi struggled with, like I said, for Kakeze, because he was getting caught when he was coming in with just Kakeze just using the range a bit better and catching him when he is coming in, and countering at times as well. So that's something which Gimenez is going to have to use and going to have to do. He's that accuracy, he is accurate, and so that's also something else. He has a high work rate throughout the whole fight, not just the start of the fight, and so I think if Magnesi is going to win this fight, then he's going to want to do it, and going to probably do it early on in the fight if he is going to do it. Gimenez's kind of negative side, so is he has a low guard at times, which means Magnesi's punches probably will land, at least a couple of them will land, and that's something which fighters do have, and I don't mind if they have good movement, and Gimenez does have good movement, but it doesn't mean that you're not sometimes going to get caught with shots. He can get too comfortable at times, Gimenez, because he does like to, like I said, drift around the ring and sometimes maybe seemingly bouncing around the ring at times, but he can get too comfortable, and he did get knocked down in not his last fight, maybe the fight before. I can't remember which one it was, the one that I saw, but that also shows he's not got the best of chins either. He's been knocked down a couple of times now. He can do too much at times. He has very good feints, but he can over feint and just kind of be stuck in the same position, just doing the same thing over and over again until eventually he gets caught and maybe woken back up, I suppose, and brought back to reality. He can overcommit at points. Like I said, he's accurate, and maybe he'll overcommit and just land a little bit, but he might overcommit, land a little bit, and then just be caught with a bigger counter. He is a mid-range fighter, can struggle in close range, and so that's something which Magnesi is going to have to try and do. He's going to have to try and cut off the ring, which is very hard to do against Gimenez, and because Gimenez will just use the mid-range otherwise to just flick out his jab constantly and just be able to outbox him like that. I wouldn't say he's physically stronger or powerful, more powerful than Magnesi, so that's something which Magnesi is going to have to use as well. If he can use his physical strength, maybe clinch with Gimenez, that might be something that he's not used to as much, and that might be something that favours Magnesi more. This is Magnesi's toughest test, kind of linking to the fact of him being less experienced compared to, no, not Magnesi's toughest test, Gimenez's toughest test, linking to the fact that Magnesi is more experienced than him. Magnesi is the favourite for this fight. Of course, he is in his home country, and he is the ex-world title challenger and world title holder. And I think that Gimenez, I don't know where I get Gonzalez from. Gimenez will win via unanimous decision. Like I said, I think if he can not get caught in any kind of corners of the ring by Magnesi and just keep constantly going round and round the ring and make it annoying for Magnesi and tire him out and kind of go past the initial first few rounds, and I think Gimenez will be able to win via unanimous decision. I don't see him getting a stoppage. I mean, he's only got the 3 on the record, and I don't see him getting another one for the moment, especially not against Magnesi, who I would say does have a good chin. Because he did take some big punches against Kakeze and did keep going, but yeah, like I said, I think Gimenez will be able to win this one. And then there's a few options of who I think he could fight. Kakeze is an option in himself. He's the IBO champion and hasn't fought in a while, and that could be an option. Konsei Sao I've put as another option. He's just fought Shakur Stevenson. I think that might be his last fight, but I think that could be a good step up for Gimenez. Or Wilson. Wilson, of course, coming off the big fight versus Navarrete. Of course, he made a very good account for himself. Obviously did lose, but is still a very good option as well. And I think if he is going to climb up the ranks, then I don't think winning this fight is going to put him straight away in contention for a world title fight. Maybe the IBO world title fight, but I don't think one of the major mandatory bodies will be looking at him straight away. But I think any of them 3 could be good options. There probably is more than I'm missing out as well. But I always like to just kind of put a maximum of 3 in at the end. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you didn't, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.